Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast. I'm your host, Jared, coming off of a 1-2 Thanksgiving day. Shout out to the Lions. Shout out to the Commanders for ruining Thanksgiving. The food just did not taste as great. Just kidding. Food was awesome. Family was awesome. I hope everybody out there had an awesome Thanksgiving. Football is just a cherry on top. For those of you who celebrate, got some time to spend with your family, catch up. That's always good. Got to get that. Good for the mental. Also, great to have a day off. But we need a 2-0 Sunday. We have to have it. Let's go 3-2. Let's get this winning week back on track. Obviously, Dino and I have been hot as hell to start the contest this year. We've ran into some unlucky bounces, losing a few picks by yards at this point. But we like our spots this week. We've got 2 games, 2 picks, and we will talk about our 2 that we left out because you guys like to know what we leave out. And most importantly, we're still alive in Survivor. And little spoiler alert, I think we gained a lot of progress in Survivor. But before we get into all that, let's bring on my co-host, my right-hand man, my dude. I know what's going on, player.
Yeah, what's going on, my guy? Back at it again, and I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm about to double down on what you said. That food did not taste the same. My Commanders got beat the fuck out of it. I mean, I lost all the taste out of my mouth watching that game. Cowboys did their thing, and thank you again for proving why Ron Rivera should be fired as of 2024. Watched the head coach, but other than that, man, the food was actually pretty damn great. I had a good time, My girl met the family for the first time down there. So, that was really a really good thing about it, though. Got to smile a little bit. Everybody was enjoying themselves. And I hope everybody enjoyed themselves, too. But, yeah, man, like I said, I thought we were going to have a little bit more luck on Thanksgiving, but that's neither here or there. It's time to turn it around. Sunday's right around the corner. Let's get this bag.
Yeah, Sunday is where we gain the ground. Rumor has it the dinner roll that Dino was holding had a hand imprint in it because he was squeezing it so hard watching the Commanders melt in the second half. But that's just hearsay. Yeah. Regardless.
Boy, bigger than that hand fucking Dak on that motherfucking turkey leg at halftime.
Oh, my God. Hey, you know what the worst part about it is? You see where the Cowboys' priorities are, up by 21 points, throwing passes 40 yards down the field. Yeah, that shit comes back to bite you in the ass, but that's never here nor there. But anyway, we've got 2 games that we're going to get into. Then we will also talk about our 2 picks that were the last ones out, and then we're going to get into some Survivor. So without further ado, let's get right into the picks.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. So in all likelihood, Deshaun Jackson's going to at least get a return. Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding? Way downtown. Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
Leading us off, we've got a divisional matchup. We've got the AFC South. The Jaguars are heading to Houston to face the Texans. The Texans are 1.5-point dogs at home. This is simple. We've got one of the hottest quarterbacks in the league at home in a divisional matchup as a dog. I've ran through some of the numbers. CJ Stroud as an underdog against the spread, undefeated. CJ Stroud as a favorite has not had a cover. And I think that speaks volume to the market. I really think this is a good spot for the Texans. The Jaguars are 1 game ahead of the Texans in the division. So this game, although it's just a little bit, we're in the second third of the season here. Although we are still a little bit of ways away from the end of the season, this just seems like a big game for the division at the end of the year. So I think the Texans are going to come out and try to show that there's the team that they have been the last few weeks. CJ Stroud isn't a fluke, and DeMeco Ryans has these boys buzzing. This defense has been surprising over the last few weeks. They have had their moments where teams have moved the ball easily, but they've came up with several big plays, and that really opened my eyes against Joe Burrow because they had 2 interceptions on Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
but I think one of them was just in the red zone, and that just shows that this defense doesn't give up. And they play till the end of the clock. We saw it where was the Buccaneers. That was another game. CJ Stroud just always finds ways to lead his team downfield and win games. So I like the Texans at home. This was one of the picks that Dino and I came to a consensus on Thursday, luckily. So we're really not trying to go against our guns. But Dino, what am I missing here?
I mean, you ain't missing nothing, man. Oh, well, you know what here? I'm going to tell you what you're missing. So, Jared, let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen me drive a stick shift?
No.
Well, imagine the Jaguars offense. That's me driving a fucking stick shift. It's just, you know how I'm saying? You pop that clutch fucking one time, you get going, and you fucking stop, and now the car's shaking, you try to get that bitch back in gear. Yeah, that's literally the Jaguars offense at times, man. Their defense is very, very disappointing. Like I said, I preached on this defense about a few weeks ago about how they're able to stay within the game and really contain the offense with turnovers. But the last few weeks, man, they're getting exposed in the passing game. That's just simple and clear as day. The running game, the run defense still seems to be intact. But like I said, that passing defense is atrocious. And you got, to be honest with you, a rookie who's not so-called a rookie. CJ Stroud's going on there, and he's been lights out week after week after week. I feel like he's going to torch that secondary of the Jaguars. I feel like it's going to be honestly, I believe this might be a little high-scoring game, depending on the Jaguars' offense, really. That's why I really love the Texans, because I know the Texans are going to give me stability with the offense and combination of defense. This team is rolling. New coach, new feel, new excitement. And when you have that refreshed feeling and it feels like a culture change coming around, good things start to happen. This is actually a big, big game in that division. And whoever wins this takes control of first place. Honestly, man, it's crazy I'm saying this, but nah, I believe in the rookie more than the Jaguars right now, man. They keep rolling.
Yeah, something about that Tank Dell connection with CJ Stroud. It's just, you can see it statistically, and it covers statistics and the eye test. The Texans right now are top 6 in explosive plays, and the Jaguars are bottom 6. So I think that's a recipe for disaster. I think we see 40, 50-yard plays out of this Texans offense. I say we probably get at least 2 of them this game. And another thing that's big to my eye is the Jaguars are 29th in passing defense. That's all this Texans team does.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think prop-wise, I don't know exactly what the price is, but I'm definitely going to be eyeing CJ Stroud 325 yards. I just feel like he's been truly almost automatic, even though for slow starts. I mean, there's been a couple games where he's had 200 at halftime, which is unheard of. But yeah, CJ Stroud, especially versus a poor pass defense team, I think he gets going. I mean, CJ Stroud's standard prop is sitting at 272 on FanDuel. CJ Stroud to throw for 325 is plus 320. I don't see that being too ridiculous. So as a straight bet, I like CJ Stroud on his prop of 325, and I think he throws 3 touchdowns this game. I think this is kind of a high scoring affair. Both defenses seem to be, on and off, hot and cold, as Dynel said. Like this Jaguars defense, or Jaguars team in general, is, like you said, driving the stick shift. Like they're just so stop and go. So I like the Texans in this spot. I really think they get it done, especially at home. I think they have all the momentum. Give me the Texans at home plus 1.5.
Let me get you another prop on top of that too, bro. Right now, CJ Stroud 3 touchdowns is plus 320.
I mean, fits game script. I like it.
Yes, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, right, expose the weakness, man. I'm definitely might play that. Sprinkle some money on that.
Especially if the Jaguars are, that poor against the pass. I mean, I see it. I can see it. Dino, why don't you tell the listeners what our second pick, technically our 5th pick of the week, but our second pick on Sunday is?
All right, bet. Let's go ahead and dive into it. We're going to Mile High. Let's ride. But we're not going with the Broncos here, man. We're going with the Browns plus 2.5 for our last pick of the contest. Why? Let me tell you why. This Browns defense is damn near unstoppable, and they continue to prove it each and every week. And anytime you go against the Browns, it don't really end up in your favor. Per last week when the Steelers couldn't keep up with the Browns there. Dorian Robinson. Thompson Robinson.
Yeah,
Thompson Robinson. Sorry about that. Thompson Robinson. I know he's a Michigan quarterback, right? Yeah, former Michigan quarterback. He, like I said, what really surprised me, like I said, when me and Jared was talking about this earlier, he had 42 passing attempts.
Yeah, he threw the ball a lot.
Yeah, he threw the ball a lot, and that tells me one thing. That coaching staff has a lot of trust with him and the ball in his hands. And we seen it in the preseason. This man showed flashes of being really, really good in this league, and he might be a future quarterback right now because Deshaun Watson's constantly hurt, and honestly, he hasn't been playing to the best. So this might be the time where Dorian Thompson-Robinson's rise starts now and takes over that starting QB spot. Now, I get it. The Broncos have been hot here lately. The defense is really fine. They really got it going after looking abysmal through the first 7 weeks and giving up 70 points to the Dolphins. But that's neither here or there. At the end of the day, man, what can you do against that Browns defense? Russell Wilson, kudos. You've looked really, really good these past couple of weeks. Jerry Jeudy, you're not just a guy. You look somewhat manageable here this last.
You know what, Dino? I'm actually going to disagree with you. I don't think Russell Wilson has actually looked good. Like, he's not passing the eye test for me.
Okay.
Yeah, his stats, he's having a decent completion percentage. He's winning these games, but a lot of these drives are coming because his defense is keeping him in the game. Like they forced 2 turnovers versus the Vikings. One of them that was in the red zone, and another one came right after that. Russell Wilson, they had a turnover. I think they fumbled or something. So, I mean, they've gotten lucky. They were lucky to win last game. They should have covered, but they were lucky to win last game. And I think that just speaks volume to Russell Wilson because that Vikings defense is so middle of the pack. Like, yeah, Danielle Hunter coming through that line, he causes problems. But regardless, outside of him, they're really not fast. They have discipline. They don't commit a lot of penalties for the Vikings defense, but they let up a lot of explosive plays. They don't contain running quarterbacks. They're just a middle of the pack defense. But this is a completely different animal. This Browns defense is, my opinion, the best all around defense. And Myles Garrett potentially is a defensive player of the year candidate. He is going to run through this Broncos offensive line. They get pressure on Russell Wilson. He holds onto the ball a little bit too long for my liking, and I see they're going to get sacks. I think this Browns defense might get 4 or 5 sacks this game. They're going to force a lot of 3 and outs. I think the Browns will have the ball a lot more time, like time of possession wise. I think they win the time of possession battle, and as long as they can get the running game going, they're not going to force DTR to throw the ball 40 plus times. That's not how they're going to win this game. This is going to be an ugly game. I mean, the 2.5 doesn't sound crazy, but in a game where there might be 1 touchdown, I think 2.5 is a lot more than if this was a higher scoring game. So I like the Browns in this spot. I hope this goes as planned because Thanksgiving Day was a fucking curveball.
Right.
But dude, I'm just betting this Browns defense. They've just looked unreal this year, and I just don't truly see because they have Jerry Jeudy who's in the slot and stuff, and Pat Surtain can cause problems. But realistically, like Amari Cooper hasn't been like a CeeDee Lamb. He hasn't been an AJ Brown. He's been a possession receiver. They go to him on 3rd down. He's got great hands. He works the sideline. He's not going to try to kill you over the top. So, I mean, this is just going to be an ugly game. It's going to be about field position. And if this is a battle of field position, I want the better defense. Give us the Browns.
Don't worry. I agree with you. You ain't got to sell it to me.
Yeah, I'm not even trying to sell to myself because this was one of the first picks I saw. And it just speaks that there's been money coming in on the Browns. That's why this got moved to +1.5. So, I mean, in a game where this is going to be low scoring, like these points are extremely critical. So, we'll take all the points we can get. Obviously, I think the Browns win this game. It's not going to be pretty. I mean, if the Broncos kicked 5 field goals against the Vikings, what do they get? 2 field goals and no touchdowns against the Browns? I mean, we got to remember this Browns defense, although it was Clayton Tune or whatever for the Cardinals, they shut them out 27-0. It's hard to shut out a professional football team in the NFL. It's hard to do. It takes 1 play to be in field goal range. And you're telling me that they did not have an opportunity to put up points that entire game? This Browns defense is something for real. And I think Myles Garrett has a huge game. I think he's going to feast.
All right, go ahead now. Look, all our listeners right now, I want you to really think about that. When was the last time my boy Jared had that type of passion on that? That was phenomenal. That was honestly phenomenal. I ain't gonna lie to you, Brody. Nah, listen, I'm with you. Trust me, Browns 2.5 seems to be a good play, but guys, like, you listen to the passion, man. We really believe in this team.
I love the spot. This might be my favorite pick of the week. I mean, I love the Texans, but this is by far this was the one I want in.
Yeah, so, I know. Boy, salivating over there.
So, just to recap, obviously on Thanksgiving, we had the Lions -7.5. We had the Commanders +11.5. And we had the Niners -7.5. And round of applause for them. Shout out to the Niners for giving us some hope.
Big dogs.
Now we have the Texans +1.5 versus the Jaguars at home. And with the Browns +2.5 on the road versus the Broncos. But now it's time for my favorite part of the episode.
Get them right. Come on.
What's that one song Beyonce sings, Dynel?
What, Single Ladies? It's like, nah, I'm just playing.
No, Survivor.
Oh, yeah, facts. But I know you talking
Survivor. Come on now. So,
I'm a little joke in there.
For those of you guys who have been following me all season, I hope you didn't jump the gun on Thanksgiving and take the Lions. I hope you didn't jump the gun because another popular Survivor pick goes down. We saw the Cowboys go down. We saw the Niners go down. Shit, who else? I'm drawing a blank, but there were several there were several top dogs that went down. There was a lot
Chiefs. Actually, Chiefs the other few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, the Chiefs
and Broncos
a lot of people had the Bengals against the Texans. Regardless, with all that being said, there's been a lot of top dogs and the popular survivor picks that have went down. And you would think that I was auditioning for the Matrix, that I've been dodging all these red lasers. I don't know what it was. When I was looking at my survivor this week, it was a mixture of hot and cold feet. I was like what? I told myself, I kind of want to save the Lions. I kind of want to put the Lions in. I didn't know what to do, but because I was so hesitant, and I was like, dude, you're getting so far. There's 1% of people left in this survivor pool for $100,000. There's 1% left, potentially less. I right now can't see how many people took the Lions, but I know it's a decent chunk. I'm going to say at least 35%. I'm hoping more, obviously, for my sake, so this cuts us even more. There was 2,424 people before the Lions were taken. I will not be able to see that until Sunday. For those of you guys who follow us on Twitter or not on Twitter, if you want to catch up with this, you can follow us on Twitter at @ShredTheSpread_, and I'll give a recap of the Survivor. Also put out all of our picks on our Survivor pick in case anything changes. So you do want to make sure you follow us on Twitter for that. But we have a Survivor pick this week, and it's ugly. You guys thought last week was ugly? This is uglier. But trust the process. We're taking the Minnesota Vikings versus the Bears. Oh, no. Is this how it ends? No, it's not. Don't worry. Listen, this Josh Dobbs guy, I think he's like a magician. He just pulls shit out of his hat. He's got cards up his sleeves. You know, he's the dealer at the casino when they pull a 12 and it's ace, ends up with a 21 and you lose 21-20. He's just that type of guy. He just frustrates you because if he can't find you with the pass, he finds you with his legs. He did a jump pass last week on the Broncos off his back foot and threw it. He did a jump pass. Like, what the hell? I think it was the Josh Oliver, maybe. He did a jump pass in the red zone versus the Broncos defense. Like, that is who Justin Fields should be. Josh Dobbs is who Justin Fields should be. He's got the swagger. He's got the confidence. Like, it just makes no sense. This guy, I'm tired. I'm tired of betting against him. I'm tired of being on the other side, and that's why I'm taking him. If Josh Dobbs lets me down this week, the NFL is just fuck him at this point. It's fuck him. But listen, I love this spot. We get to save so many potential candidates for the regular, like obviously for the season prolonging. I still have the Eagles in my back pocket. Obviously, still have the Lions in my back pocket. And, obviously going to be a candidate for the next 2 weeks. Wink, wink. But we're going with the Vikings this week. If you can't fathom that, I'm sorry. I really don't have another play. The other pick that I was contemplating was the Titans versus the Panthers. I don't want to back. I don't want to back Will Levis, especially against the Panthers team where they have a decent defense. So we're going with the Vikings. So just to recap everything,
that's gonna be an ugly game.
It is.
Yeah, that's gonna be an ugly game.
Just to recap this episode, Texans plus 1.5 and Broncos plus 2.5 were our final picks for the contest this week. Those are 2 of our last 5, and then Survivor is none other than Captain Josh Dobbs and the Minnesota Vikings. Listen, we are getting into crunch time in this Survivor pool. There was like 108,000. We're down to most likely under 2,000 people. If we win Survivor this week, we will do a huge Shred the Spread giveaway.
That's what I'm talking about.
Trust me.
Yes, sir.
We're going to take care of you guys. We're going to take care of the boys at the podcast, obviously, but then we're going to take care of the listeners. It's getting gritty. We're getting down. My heart beats a little bit faster every week clicking my Survivor pick. But obviously we still have a road to go, but the people are dropping like flies, and these big favorites are helping me every single week. With that being said, those are our 5 picks. That's our Survivor pick. Dino, do you have any other words for the listeners before we get out of here?
Same message every week, knuckleheads. Bet responsibly. Be safe out there. It's like I said, lower your units. Bet to your units. Don't try to go overboard. Tune in, like I said, tune in to Twitter at Shred the Spread, guys. Follow the picks. Like I said, this week we did Thursday and Sunday picks. If you wasn't following us, you wasn't able to follow all the way through. So make sure you guys follow. That is huge for us and huge for you guys, to make sure that you have the right and proper bets. Changes happen, injuries happen. So make sure you tune in live to that, guys. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna pass right back off to Jared.
Stay tuned within the next few episodes for a big announcement. We may have a change podcast that might be to you guys' liking, so be tuned for that. But for now, we're gonna get out of here. We'll leave you guys with some suspense. This has been our best bets episode for the contest and our Survivor pick for the Shred the Spread podcast. I'm your host Jared. He's Dynell, and for our awesome producer Tyler. Until next time, we'll see you.
Peace.